Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this is not David. Hey, so it's Thursday, June 11th. It's a little after 7 o'clock. Dave and I just did a twin video. It's the first video I've done in almost a week. The last video I did was a Insomnia Club video uh, live stream on Saturday. And those take a lot out of me. I am not a night owl. I am a morning person for sure. So I really enjoy our insomnia crew, though. I have to admit that. I always, when I do the comments, there's just this loyal group of people that can't sleep at night that leave comments on our videos. So I really do appreciate you. And so it's a small price to pay, small amount of discomfort, because you guys bring me a lot of joy, and I really appreciate you. I haven't done a video all week, um, uh, partially just because I wasn't feeling it, and partially because there's just so much bad energy out there, and you kind of attract the energy you put out, and I don't want to put out videos where it's just like, oh, the sky is falling, everything's terrible, nothing's ever going to work out, blah, blah, blah. It's just, I don't want to do that to me. I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to do that to the universe. I mean, there's certainly a lot out there that we can be unhappy about, dissatisfied about. And apparently, if you're unhappy and dissatisfied with how Trump does things, that makes you un-American, that you hate America. Because, yeah, you know, thinking that we could be better than this means I hate America, right? As opposed to knowing that America is capable of doing so much better than the low level of how we're treating people and conducting ourselves, right? It's kind of like having a misbehaving teenager. And um, and if you're the parent that says, you know what, you need to start studying, you need to do better in school, you need to stop running around with this bad crowd because you're breaking windows at the school, and the police are arresting you, and I'm having to bail you out of jail, and having your spouse say, you don't love our child because you're scolding them and you're punishing them. No, it's not that I don't love him, it's because I think he can do better. And that's kind of what the political environment is right now. You don't agree with Trump, you're un-American and you hate America, as opposed to someone who thinks that we're better than this. So I don't want to do any more of those. I want to do stuff that's either fun or a certain amount of uplift and hope. So I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of videos in the near future. Well, hopefully I'll do lots of videos in the near future. That would be great. But there was a video I wanted to do today, and it's on that the UFC 250, the mixed martial arts fighting event that's going to happen on the White House lawn on Trump's birthday on Sunday, June 14th. Right now, there's a lawsuit that's been filed saying that basically, hey, you know what? This is a for-profit event held by private companies on federal property, and they didn't. Trump's administration didn't go through whatever process they need to go through for something like this, and so that's progressing through the courts. It may gain traction. It may not gain traction. We can look at that. My gut feeling about this is the same gut feeling I had about the military parade for Trump's birthday last year, which is, I hope to hell this doesn't happen because it's just a bunch of bullshit. Nothing says class like having a mixed martial arts competition on your front lawn. I mean, he'll probably let MAGA park all their pickup trucks out there on the lawn next to it, right? Because nothing says class like that. But on the other hand, like Trump's military birthday parade, if this UFC thing actually does happen, it might showcase what a fiasco and what the complete lack of planning and preparation the Trump administration has. Another humiliation and embarrassment for him. Because what do we all remember about the military parade on Trump's birthday last year? We all remember the squeaky tank. People not marching in step. You got the squeaky World War II tank, some trainer tank. It's just like it was such an embarrassment, and no one showed up. No one was there for this. It was a massive humiliation for him. So with this UFC 250, is it going to be more of the same? Kind of like his big July 4th celebration, and all of the performers backed out because they sold it to the performers that it was going to be a patriotic celebration, and the performers started figuring out that this was going to be a highly partisan political rally. And they're like, nope, nope, nope. They noped their way out of it, and now Trump he wants to have some sort of like county fair type of event on that 4th of July thing now. With all the states representative, and several of the states are like, yeah, we don't want to have any part of that. Too expensive. The price of entry is too much. We're just not that into it. And so, and it's once again, it's going to be this highly partisan event. And so there's a number of states that just like, yeah, nope, don't want to be part of that. So I want to take a look at the energy around the UFC 250. Is it going to happen? And if it does happen, is it going to be more like his military parade for entertainment purposes only? I hope you're all doing good. And let's just see what's going on here. All right, so let's take a look. The UFC 250 event. What do we need to know about this? What's the energy look like if this is going to happen? Okay, let's make sure it's right set up. Page of Pentacles. Okay, the Page of Pentacles is kind of showing, this is sort of what do you value, what do you hold dear. A pentacle is, it could be money, but it's also things of value. This could be, what your moral code is, what your ethical code is. It's what do you think is valuable? In this case, if it's for Trump, for example, it could be showcasing this wonderful athletic event. For some of the people, like I could look at this card and say, this is just showing people how Trump doesn't really care about protocol or procedure and process. I'm blanking on the word. Decorum is the word I'm looking for. He just doesn't care about decorum. It's whatever he values is what we should all value. So, for the UFC thing, Dana White's been a pretty strong Trump supporter. So this is kind of a reward for Dana White. That's what the card could be. What's the challenge? The Seven of Swords. Okay, so the part of the lawsuit is that they don't want this to happen because it's basically a for-profit event. And the challenge is the Seven of Swords, which is making off with things when no one's looking. Yeah, how can Trump steal the revenues if people are if everyone's watching this? It's going to be harder to make off with things. What this could also be the challenge, the cross, the Seven of Swords, is this is a distraction from other things that he's trying to accomplish. Which is, there's other things out there that are happening and he's trying to create a distraction. Energy underneath it is the Five of Cups. Sorrow, betrayal. I don't know how MAGA is going to look at this. On this UFC 250 event because, inflation is going crazy. Trump says he loves inflation. MAGA's got to start feeling like they've been betrayed. That Trump doesn't care about them because they're suffering financially. He's entered into this foreign war that has there's no box around it, so you know what a victory condition looks like. He's never sold this to the American people. He just got into it. And it could be a situation where they're just feeling like, are we supposed to be happy about this UFC 250 event? There's a whole bunch of things that, our financial freedom is being taken away from us. And we're supposed to be happy about this. Happy birthday. In the past, you got the star. This is all about Trump's star power and wanting to be the center of attention. The current energy is the fool. This is just, it's something, what he's doing is foolish. He's trying something new. He's trying something different. That could be the fool card. But the way I'm looking at this is kind of, Nero fiddling while Rome burns type of a situation. I don't think MAGA is going to be very happy about this. It's like, what a waste. Why aren't you taking this stuff seriously? Overarching energy is the Queen of Wands. There's so many actions that you need to be taking. There's so many events that are going on around the world and affecting our wallets. And you're having a fighting exhibition on your front lawn. Lesson to be learned, Six of Swords. This could cause MAGA not only to feel bad, but some of them to leave. Saying, you don't care about us anymore. You're taking away our livelihood. You're acting like a fool. You should be taking actions to make our lives better, like bringing in jobs, ending inflation. And you're not doing it. Instead, you're pissing around with UFC. And the outcome is the Queen of Swords. A harsh truth coming out. That, you said you loved inflation. You're not acting presidential. You're not taking our concerns seriously. The whole Epstein file thing. Where are the Epstein files in this? So kind of the energy I'm getting around that UFC 250 is it's not going to be well received. Trump will be out there on Truth. If it happens, Trump will be out there on Truth Social telling everyone what a great success it was and how it was the most watched UFC fight ever and, how great he is, blah, blah, blah. But it's going to land with, if it happens, it's going to land with a thud. So is this going to be comparable to Trump's 4th of July? If this goes off, is this going to be another, because that's the feeling I get. This is going to be his 4th of July celebration, or I'm sorry, his 4th of July, or his 79th birthday army celebration with the Squeaky tank. That the UFC event looks like it's going to be like that. And is that what we're seeing here? Is the UFC 250 going to be the Squeaky tank of 2026? You got the Four of Wands. People celebrating. Let's have a celebration. The UFC event is coming. King of Wands. So the King of Wands is about taking bold, decisive actions. Hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled, smug merchant. Trump's getting what he wants. This is part of his legacy. Bringing this action forth. Energy underneath is the Queen of Pentacles, however, which is you should be taking care of the people that you care about. Instead, you're worried more about your legacy, worried more about your rich friends, and just not taking the necessary actions you need to take. You just want to have a party. It's your birthday party. Instead of taking actions to address inflation, to address this war that you started with Iran, that's not a war. Instead, you're just worried about your own legacy and gaining more wealth and appeasing your rich friends. So, yeah, this is going to thud. There's also one other concern is the weather. Dave was looking at the weather forecast. There's like a 50% chance of rain on Sunday. So it could get rained out. I have a hunch it's going to be one of a few things. I don't think it's going to be well attended crowd wise, partially maybe because of weather. It might not even occur. But if it does occur, it probably won't be well attended, and it's just going to be just a shit show. That's what I'm getting out of this. And I think that's all I need to get out of this. Uh, keep your hopes up. Don't let them get you down. There's a lot of crap in the world right now. Do your best. Take it one day at a time. We will get through this. And on a closing note, I saw an article on Yahoo where it was this is kind of a political analyst, or maybe he was a social analyst, but he was basically saying, Trump, he lies a lot and he tells a lot of mistruths, but that doesn't affect MAGA. In fact, he does it. The theory is he does it because he wants to piss off the media, and he tells these things knowingly just to piss off the people that he know are going to try and correct him. And what this has, the effect of this is it causes his most ardent supporters to dig in more because they've already made up their mind that everything he says is truthful. So when you point out something that is not truthful, they just dig their heels in more because you're clearly have Trump derangement syndrome, for lack of a better term. And what he was saying, what this article was saying was Trump may have finally overstepped because the actions he's taken are now directly impacting his base, like with inflation, for example. And it's going to cause many of them to realize that it's not, not that it's not funny anymore, but this is real and that he does not care about them. He is taking actions that directly impact them and directly hurt them. And then he goes out there and says he's happy for that. I love inflation. Yeah, tell that to these poor people that have been buying your Trump watch or your Trump Bitcoin or your NFTs or, your Trump cell phone. He's just making their life more and more miserable. And they're going to start recognizing that he does not care about us. This is all about the grift, about self-enrichment and engorgement. And it's a shame that the rest of us have to get dragged along with it, but they're starting to figure it out. Some of them never will, but some of them will figure it out. And Trump is doing everything in his power to help them figure it out. And that's what we need to leave this era behind. So I had watched an NDE video where someone had said they had their NDE experience and they're okay with what's happening now because they know that in the experience they had was that in 2032 the US will be in a golden age. And all the shit that we're going through, that we've gone through since 2016, it happens for a reason, to set us up for 2032. Now that's great. We're 10 years in, but we still have another 6 years to go. Seriously. I know when I talked about this last time, I was saying that it would probably indicate that in 2028 the Democrats might come back into power because it's going to take a few years to sort through all of this stuff and build everything back up. That's not going to be the Democrats win in 2032 and all of a sudden everything springs into goodness, right? It's just like it happened in 2020 when Biden won. It took, a long time just to start building the cases, right? And addressing things. And I think what's going to happen is hopefully the Democrats will come into power and influence in 2026 and in 2028. And I'm hoping that more of the energy will be focused on trying to A, make life better for the people who are suffering, B, build more robust and responsive systems so that we don't ever have to go through this again, and then C, hold people accountable. But I want that to be kind of like the last thing. As much as I want them to be held accountable, if you try and make that your priority, you're going to lose the elections 2 years later because the tabletop issues is what's going to get you reelected. You have to show the American people, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to make your life better. I'm going to make things easier. Everything is going to be improved. And then you got to go out there and do it. And I think the mistake that was made was we were all had our talons out ready to mete out justice and accountability for all the BS that Trump put us through. And we didn't fix the problem with inflation that Biden inherited from COVID. And that really killed the House of Representative elections in 2022 and cost the Democrats the election in 2024. Now, was there additional electronic help that might have swayed the votes a different way? There could have been. But, you know, it wasn't just one thing. There's a combination of things, which is why we're in this sucky timeline that we're in. So keep your chins up, keep your hopes up. Don't let them get you down. Hopefully I'll have lots and lots of videos that will kind of raise the vibration for everyone. Dave and I are doing a live stream with Elspeth, the painting healer, the artist healer, on Saturday. So hopefully you guys will tune in for that. So I hope you're all having a great day, and we'll catch you soon. Take care. Bye.